Miguel Ferrer, welcome to Business Way TV. Great to have you on the
Thank you
interview
very
chair
much.
today. So,
Thank you for inviting me.
yeah, absolutely. So as a quick introduction to you, so you are an economist, right, by training and trade, and you have 20 years of running companies in Asia and very many different ones, as I understood it well.
That's correct.
And you're currently running a company for solar energy, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I run a company called Share Oak, and then this company basically finds rooftop of industrial companies to install solar panels on them. And these systems we finance completely.
Right.
And those people that receive those systems in their properties, they don't pay for them, but then they just pay for the electricity this system generates.
Right.
So yeah, that's a very interesting business model.
Yeah, it's a fantastic business model actually.
Yes.
So how well is that going so far? Are people actually interested in that concept and those ideas?
I think the interest is massive
Yeah.
because renewable energy is at the center of almost every business right now. The speed of adoption is very slow compared to our targets because unfortunately the market seems to have some obstacles like a regulation specifically. So yeah, it could be a lot better, but I don't think we should complain because we have invested in many systems to date.
Yeah, exactly right. And as with so many things around renewable energy and renewables in general, I would say there's always a lot of red tape when it comes to the governments to actually make sure that these things actually happen and can also be put into practice, right? And they're more flowing and going through a setting. So, what do you feel are the main challenges, about running renewable companies in Vietnam?
When you say red tape, I think you're being super polite. Huh? I think the mind of our government in Vietnam is in the right place. It's the right thing. They have the right state of spirit and the right focus. The execution takes a long time to follow that state. So
Right.
I think the difference between intention and action, that gap is not filled yet in Vietnam, and they has to be really an acceleration in that sense. So all the intentions we have had that government has agreed already are not really possible legally.
Right.
So, or not completely possible legally. So this is one of the main issues. The second issue is this is a new thing in terms of experience for people. So we really need to create this professional base of people that actually professionally able to work in this area. But every day more and more and more, and then that's a reason of pride for people like us working in this industry.
Yeah, and you're mentioning people and also the way that they basically need to change themselves essentially to actually get used to this renewable business, and basically it sounds like you need to help there to create a new mindset. Is that correct? For
Yes, we do. And as an anecdote, it's very interesting because when I visit a forum like this one, and you walk around all the companies that have booths and everything, I will say maybe 30% of the companies here have people that have been under our management before. So it's a motive of worried, but a motive of pride at the same time. Yes. When you see that these great people, great minds and great hands, really developing this not only in our company, but going around, and we're actually initiating this. We're really at the root part of that. And actually, I think it's more pride than shame, let's say that, because they're leaving to other companies and really continuing a great career in there. So it's a good moment for them.
Yeah,
and for us.
Yeah, so true, right? And also, then organizing an event for the first time like this in Vietnam also pays tribute, I guess, to that sense of pride, right? That they're actually capable of doing things like this, right? And that they're actually capable of these renewable. The renewable mindset and framework that you're trying to implement?
Yes, and the sustainability that has been shown in this forum is to an extent encouraging.
Yeah.
You can see that Vietnam really is in the center of this sustainability movement globally, and you can see by the caliber of companies that are presented here that there is an interest beyond the mere economic business. There is an interest in the personal people in their private lives. You can see recycling, you can see consumption of new technologies for the personal use, for industrial use, and then you see cars, you see, let's say, all kind of technology here represented. And I think there is hope to think that sustainability is a path that Vietnam, as a place, has chosen to transit. Yeah, it's very, very good.
Absolutely right, because you already see that behavior taking place also in the events that are taking place here in the last 3 days at GEFE.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Very true. So when you look at the topic about sustainability, and with your knowledge about running a sustainable company, how do organizations adapt? When they realize that the topic of sustainability is here to stay.
Sometimes I have to say that, and I'm guilty of that for sure, we have the impression that we are more flexible than we really are. Right. And I think our processes sometimes sound quite rigid in general. I'm not talking about my company in particular, but many companies. And we have to have people that will look at these processes and find out the way to flexibilize them without bringing any risk to your operation. And I think many companies right now, and I have the impression they are very averse to risk, and then they are very scared to change, right? But I think there is no way other than change. Therefore, what you need to do is change this under an informed environment with a very careful consideration, but very fast, because everyone is in a new phase, in a new step, in a new situation. And I think we, as companies that work in this area of sustainable, renewable energy, alternative energies, we need to be prepared for all the challenges that the future will bring, not only in Vietnam, but this is global. And more than ever, these businesses are global. They are not really local, right? There's not a Vietnamese electrical company. No. Now we are plugged into a bigger cloud of sustainability and renewable energy. So you can see we are somehow related all here by this silver lining, right?
Got you. Yeah, that's true, right? And to your point, because these sustainability initiatives, they are global essentially, right? Because this is why countries talk. This is why we are bringing people together, and this is why when one person or one country or one company starts, they can literally pull others along with them, in order to make this sustainability message and chapter, a possibility.
Yeah, I was just talking to a couple of the investors and all the other companies in the area, and definitely there is a need for precise management into these topics, because I don't believe we can just follow the flow. I think, and I like to think ourselves as pioneers in the area, and not only in this area. I think managing the spectrum of sustainability and renewable energies and so on requires very fine, how do you say, very fine feeling of expecting the right thing in the future. So it's a mix between technical but a little bit spiritual. You need to feel this. You really need to want this. We want this, and makes a difference. Actually, you need to be passionate about running companies like this in order to be successful in them.
Right. So, and I'm not sure if you can give this, but I'm just looking for, in this case, when you're thinking about a feeling that this gives, right? Can you give an example of maybe a bit of a concrete situation where this feeling comes into?
I think, it's funny, but because you asked this, but the reality is that somehow people, even in a very technical environment, people understand where you're really, truly involved personally and sincere in these things, right? And I can see, because I have been around all the industrial spectrum here in Vietnam, when people perceive that you are really committed, not only as an organization, because this is part of the culture, right? But as a person that is running this organization with what they're expecting to happen, then this commitment and this passion actually gets reflected on these results. And actually, we have projects that people will say, well, maybe they're not very interesting, but we are extremely interested and very passionate about them, and the people working with us can feel that. So I think yes, this printing this passion in this renewable energy is vital. It's not the same. We just do this. No, that we don't just do this. We do this because we're trying to save the planet one step at a time. So that's the way at least that's the way I think.
Yeah.
Should go.
Mm-hmm. So true. So true. So more practically, right? If you think about your own job, managing, a solar company,
Yes.
what do you need to take into account, when managing a solar company like your own, when you think about the renewability and sustainability?
The interesting part to manage a solar developer company is that sometimes people don't know who are our clients.
Right.
Our clients are investors. Investors find companies like us to execute the mandate to invest funds. We have different investors from different countries, from Holland, from Korea, and so on. And then these investors have a mandate to put money in solar systems. Now, those are our clients. Then we go find projects. And these people that we find new factories to put solar systems on them, those people are clients of our investors. But then we on behalf of our investors, they are our clients too, right? So we are dealing with two clients at the same time that require the same level of excellence, the same level of care, the same level of financial acumen, the same level of service. And in different ways, but the same level. So we have to create an organization that actually can focus at the same time on 2 or 3 different targets that to successfully culminate projects. So this is actually the biggest challenge for organizations like us that we are developers in solar energy.
Yeah, so it sounds like then that you actually have two sometimes completely opposite client groups that you actually need to manage and take care of and please at the same time. Correct?
Absolutely. They are opposite in the terms of where they are placed, right? One is receiving an investment for free, and one is actually putting money on this investment. But technically, they are both in the same direction. They want to utilize renewable energy to promote their businesses, to operate better, and actually to be compliant with the planet. Right now, people that need to operate industries, not only in Vietnam, but everywhere, they need to be green or at least compliant to ecological measures, right? And investors that at least the ones working with us, they have a mandate to promote renewable energy and environmental safe energies. So it's a match, but they don't know. They don't know it. For them, it's sometimes for the clients, okay, it's a financial thing, even that they're paying nothing. But for the investor, wow, it's a risk they're taking, putting money in companies that they don't know they will be there for 20 years, for example. So this is a circle, and this balance, we need to work on them. And then this is where the economist part goes in. We actually look from the economical point of view, the survival possibilities of the market, of the companies. We look at the credit performance. We look at the actual businesses they're in. We look at the way they will be using this energy and so on. And then we can decide to do together. But at the end of the day, there must be a match. And we are kind of a matchmaker. And this is the way we actually run our business. It's interesting. It's very strange, to be honest, because for some people it's a very strange business. But the reality is working quite well. And the fact, as I told you before, that I can see so many people that has gone through the company, running in different companies in the same spectrum, that shows me that with hope that we are not so wrong.
Yeah, so true, so true. So, I'm curious about this one because you mentioned that for over 20 years you worked in many different types of businesses.
Correct.
Lots of time the overall focus was sustainability and renewability. Today and the last few days at GEFE 2022, you've walked around, you've seen like a lot of different companies there. When you think about the different verticals, so the different types of companies and the lines of business and organizations that you see here.
Correct.
Which type of business or which type of businesses do you feel can make the biggest impact where it comes to renewability and renewable energies?
That's an interesting question because I had, let's say, very meaningful, interesting experiences with different kind of industries. I come from an industrial world, working for companies like Volvo, or even the oil and gas part with Total. That at the beginning, they are not really renewable energy companies, right? But they have a clear sense of renewability and environment awareness, right? But right now in the forum, I can see with interest that lots of the renewable energy and sustainability part goes to day-to-day areas. It comes to food, to service individuals, not companies. Of course, the commercial and industrial side is always present, but in this forum, I can see a lot of the mindset in changing of the individuals, companies. Those are the ones that have to continue and that are more at risk because investors and the financial system will support a lot big commercial and industrial organizations. But these smaller companies that actually may change the mind of people like you and me, they are at risk of maybe not having capital in 10 years or in 5 or in 2. So I think we, as a society and as a group, people working on this, we should actually pay attention to these companies that actually can influence the individuals actually in their daily life.
There you go. So when you look at those types of industries, then you typically would look at industries that have a lot of consumers essentially.
Correct.
A lot of people that buy those particular companies' actions.
Yes.
And the way that they suggest change behavior.
Yes.
In favor of renewable energy and sustainability, that they'll actually be influencing a lot more people, around them through their business practices and through the way that they run and work with their consumers.
And I think in certain way this is happening globally, right? Even yourself, if you go, you go to a supermarket, you get biological eggs, or you see, this pasta is packed with renewable. But you prefer probably this. You pay maybe a little bit more, but you take it, and you feel, I've done a little bit my part, right? And this will continue happening. And now you have companies that are very innovative in this. And the companies I choose to work with on the energy part are companies that actually have this in mind, and this is what they want to do. So at least this renewable energy is part of their story, how they are becoming green, and how they're supporting to a better planet in the day of today and in the day of tomorrow. Yeah, they are working on this. This is interesting.
Yeah, they absolutely are, and we've seen that very well in the last few days.
Yes,
which is very encouraging, I would say, to say the least. Yeah, so
to say the least.
Yeah.
To say the least. I think people in our area, we still have worked for a long time. Someone mentioned to me that many of the investors they know me and so on. I didn't know. So obviously, the small things we say, the few times we talk, when we go here and there, someone is listening. And as long as someone is listening, means there is chance that the renewable energy are promoted and encouraged and work on, and the people can see that there is something that we can do and achieve with it. So
yeah, and that is encouraging indeed.
Hopefully.
Yeah, definitely so. So looking at your own role, your own company, the topics that we've talked about, is there anything else that you'd like to share, or anything else that we haven't discussed yet, where you're like, yes, this is of vital importance, to the interviewer, to the message for today?
It was a Saturday in 1970. No, that's too long. But the reality is that I think running a company like this in this area is not very different to running any other industry, right? The only difference is how preponderant is the role you want to play in your own industry or in the society. And I think any company, any industry should have a positive impact, not only in the community, but in the place where you are, in the country. We are in Vietnam, it's in Vietnam. But then this is a ripple effect. whatever you do here repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. I told you, some people know about these things and I never met them, but it's fantastic. It's flabbergasting. I feel that if I want to say something, is whatever the industry you're in, whatever the business you're trying to run, you have to make a positive impact. And this positive impact will actually perdure through the generations. So I've been in companies I worked 20 years ago, and things we did before is still actually impacting today. And I hope what we're doing today with renewable energy will impact the life of my children. Actually, the children of my children. My children are adults now, right? So I think that we need not to lose the sight of what we can actually achieve working in a conscious way. We don't risk financially, we don't risk in health and so on, but we risk our planet. So we want to stay here for a little bit longer, right?
Exactly right. Exactly right. And actually having that realization that on a positive way you can influence people with the actions that you take, and that the ripple effect will actually take place, for the years to come. That indeed is encouraging as well, but it also sends a message, I would say, to people like you
Absolutely.
and me, right? Where we need to make sure that we are on course and stay there, right? To ensure that we provide and keep providing that right example for the people who are coming after us and who we work with.
Yeah, we're sending a message not only with what we say, we're sending a message with what we do.
Exactly.
And this is the reason I'm here in Vietnam. So
yes, very true, very true. Well said. Well, Miguel Ferrer, it was great talking to you today.
thank you, Chief.
Thank you so much for joining us at the Business Way TV interview chair.
No, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very happy and
Absolutely.
happy to meet you today.
Absolutely. You too.
Thank you, thanks.
Thank you.